Hi everyone, I thought I'd give you a quick rundown on the basics of our technology stack and where we came from. So when we started out 3 years ago, we had nothing more than an initial idea. And the initial question we had to ask was, would cafe, bar and restaurant owners in Europe, in Ireland, in the UK, accept a digital menu device on the table in the same way they have in the United States? So first of all, we threw together a very quick prototype with a Raspberry Pi, got a screen printed, and as you can see, it scrolls background images and it allowed us to show this is the general concept, this is what it's going to do. It didn't actually have any functionality, it was just I programmed it with Python very quickly and went out, pounded the streets of Dublin, doorstepping general managers and owners and so on. Feedback was actually absolutely fantastic, so we thought, okay, there's actually something in this. And from there, we then decided to look into it a bit more. We applied for a New Frontiers program with Enterprise Ireland, which we were accepted onto in the link in Blanchardstown. Did a lot of research and additional market research during that. Following that, we then recruited a development team, permanent developer, a number of interns, and we started building our software. We used Bitbucket as our repository, and we used a program called River for our team communications. River, absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it highly enough. To build the system, we needed to achieve a number of different kind of packages of software and hardware. And the hardware is something I'll comment on in a minute because it's important that investors understand how we differ from what they would consider a hardware company in that way. But on the software side, we needed to have tabletop menu functionality. We needed to have countertop functionality to manage the whole system. We needed to have tabletop promotions functionality so we could give additional benefits to end users. We needed to have the back office functionality for the menu. We needed back office functionality for the promotions, and we needed the communications protocols to tie it all together. On top of that, we then also needed the hardware element for those use cases where our clients, our future clients, wanted us to provide all the hardware, because we have a number of different options for clients, one of which is where we provide the hardware, one of which is where we provide the tabletop menus. They provide the countertop hardware, which reduces the initial cost that they'd be paying to us. And the third one is where they provide all of the hardware and simply download and install our software, which again reduces the initial price that they'd be paying to us. So we have a number of different options, some of which involve hardware, some of which don't for us as a company, but ultimately it all gives the same significant benefits to premises. You're talking increased revenue from increased sales, from reduced lost sales, reduced wastage and reduced cost associated with that, reduced overhead, table turnaround times, increased customer satisfaction and loyalty, and all of the benefits then that you have for the end user sitting at the table and the customer of our client and ultimately our end user as well. So we looked at all those different software elements, and we looked at the hardware element. On the communications protocol side, we looked at Bluetooth, BLE, Wi-Fi Direct, using standard premises internet access point with the router in the premises. We looked at a lot of different solutions, and we identified both our long-term solution and our beta solution. And we rolled out obviously the beta solution for beta, and we continue working on the longer-term solution, which is more of an IoT type network. On the hardware side, we looked at a lot of different solutions for the cases where we are providing all of the hardware to the premises. We looked at custom, I'll just show you this very quickly. This is only 2 or 3 of them now. We looked at everything from custom screens and motherboards, different combinations of them, to off-the-shelf commodity solutions. And for the actual display, we had a huge number of I suppose challenges to get over with that, because we needed wide angle display, we needed the correct resolution that we wanted, we needed to work with the motherboard that we wanted, so that we have expandability as we grow. What we ended up actually coming up with was a full commodity off-the-shelf solution that serves our purpose, but took a huge amount of research to actually identify a solution for motherboard and screen which worked. obviously we wanted to replace the paper menu. So we needed something which people could pick up, pass around the same way they currently do with a paper menu, but in digital form. In order to do that, you need power, which means you need batteries. We did a huge amount of research into off-the-shelf batteries and options for custom batteries. There was, this again is just a handful of different potential battery solutions that we tested. We tested a huge amount of batteries. There was a lot of time went into this, not just time for shipping from different potential suppliers and so on, but testing as well. And what we found is that our solution for the electronics inside the device would often not match the suitable solution for the battery. When you paired them up together, they wouldn't mesh, and there was a variety of problems and hurdles which we had to get over in that. But ultimately what we ended up finding was we found a commodity battery solution also, one of only two we were able to find in the world that would actually meet our purposes, and the other one didn't have enough milliamp hours. So we have a battery which lasts for a number of days, so the premises don't have to change the battery every day. And again, not going to tell you which battery we used, because a huge amount of time and effort went into identifying the batteries for our version 2 mass production device. We have binding tariff information from revenue and customs for all of the different components that we're ordering from outside the EU. That's all squared away and all done for import duties and so on. So we have all that sorted. But yeah, so we ended up with a low cost, highly effective hardware solution where we're not actually reinventing the wheel. So I suppose it's a concept that investors are going to have to get their head around over the course of the next kind of 10 to 15 years, especially in the IoT space, where you have hardware costs, but the hardware costs are effectively pigeonholed over here, and in our case they're taken care of by a particular recurring revenue stream. Excuse me. So those hardware costs effectively are something which you almost don't have to worry about. Not to be glib, but our entire business model basically pigeonholes those hardware costs with a particular recurring revenue stream, and they're taken care of. And it's similar to the model that has been used by kind of point of sale systems over the last 20, 30, 40 years, which the industry that we're operating in is very familiar with, and it works. So outside of that kind of pigeonholed hardware space, what we have and our proprietary technology and our patent applications and granted patents and so on, apart from one or two, are all in this software space where we're operating as a software company, and software is our knowledge base and is what our system is built out on. And we have a number of patents filed in that. We also have a number of design patents because, again, we have to acknowledge the fact that we do have a certain branding and a certain kind of design element to the business. I'll actually just turn down these screens slightly. I can do this here from my countertop unit. We turn down the brightness, set brightness, and you'll see they will, there we go. So they're a bit easier to see now. So after having identified kind of all of the electronics and for our beta units, and then we had to go through that process almost again for our version 2 system, we also needed to come up with a solution which looked nice on the tabletop, which was attractive and which didn't look out of place in the environment. And a lot of people have said to us, why not just put a tablet on the table? Premises owners don't want that. We've talked to hundreds of cafe, bar, restaurant owners over the last few years, and they don't want a tablet in an ugly stand or security mount on their table. So it's not suitable for our business. But also we wanted to have something which looks attractive, which complements the environment. So this is the black case. Obviously for the beta it was just vacuum formed and the front was acrylic. This shape is patented, and we have another patent which will be going in for version 2. Version 2 only has a few slight variations, but ultimately we have a European patent on this style. And there's very few ways we found that you can fit all of the different internal components together and still have something which looks attractive. So there is actually significant value in that for our business. So yeah, we had to then kind of fit it all together, put it all together. For our beta units, batteries simply slotted in. For version 2, we have different batteries and so on. But it's ergonomic, it's attractive, it fits the environment. The front of that case actually was put together by myself in my shed because we didn't have money for injection molding. So we had to figure out, well, how are we going to get around these hurdles in the most economical way possible. So I spent many a week figuring out how to heat and mold acrylic by hand in order to get us off the ground. So that was interesting. But yeah, we looked at bulk battery chargers, again, off-the-shelf solutions for bulk battery chargers, what would work, what wouldn't work. These are just one or two of the USB units we looked at. We actually have an agreement with SumUp for a payment solution, which we're going to start looking at again later this year as we build out the payment solution for our system, which will be to simply include a third-party card reader, which is obviously fully PTS certified and PCI compliant. But we've a lot of other solutions we're looking at for payment as well, which are a bit more innovative. We haven't decided which one we're going to go with yet. We'll be deciding that in the next few months. So yeah, we've had a hell of a lot of activity over the past few months and years. We've effectively come from something which was thrown together with a Raspberry Pi by myself and a bit of Python to something which is, much more advanced, much more effective, and it's actually been proven in the space that we're looking to scale in. As I say, for the hardware, we've managed to identify a business model which effectively, without wanting to be glib, negates the hardware cost. It basically puts it in a little box over here. It's taken care of by one small part of the business, and the rest of the business then operates on a software model. We're at the forefront of kind of the IoT space in that business model, and in addition to a number of other ways which we found and which we have patents pending for. But that is something that you're going to see come online a lot more over the next few years, is how can we structure the business model so that we can have a software based solution with a hardware element that is effectively kind of taken care of on one side. And we've come up with a solution for that. It's already proven to some extent in the United States by one or two of our competitors over there, but we're happy to say we have a much improved business model which is building on the learnings that we have taken away from watching them. So yeah, please support us on Kickstarter. Hopefully that gives you a quick rundown on where we've come from, and thank you very much.